The connection between them, it was behind you exactly. There is an opening. Did you notice the opening?
Yeah.
That from there you could see what's down. Okay. How many sides of that opening?
8.
It's 8. Okay. And it represents the divinity and the human nature of Jesus. Do you remember the sign that we mentioned? Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, and the two natures of Jesus. Right. This church also represents the two natures of Jesus. The lower part, which is very simple, representing the human nature of Jesus. The upper part, with all the decorative, this is actually the divinic nature of Jesus. Also, the church built to honor Our Lady. And one of the signs for inside the church is the dome. I pointed to you to see the dome, and it's a flower. It's upside down flower. Okay. This is actually representing the purity of Our Lady. So this is other thing that we will see it when we will go down. You will see 3 letters within the structure of the church. What is those 3 letters? Ave Maria. Okay, I will point it to you so you could see it down in the church down there. So after the Annunciation, Mary get married to Joseph, and she moved to his house. This is the tradition. So where is his house? We are in his carpentry workshop. So where is his house? In our mentality, that the shop or your workshop, you have to take your car to drive like half an hour to go there, and then to return back, there is a traffic jam and so on. At the time of Jesus, it wasn't like this. Part of your house is your workshop. So if this is the workshop of Joseph, means that this is also the house of Joseph. That after the Annunciation, Mary moved and lived here. And when Jesus was a child, he was playing on the ground of the way. This is a bedrock. So Jesus, he played on that bedrock. Yeah. And later on, the early Christian people, they want to join the church. They want to be Christians. So to be a Christian, you need to be baptized. In our churches, we have baptismal font, which is a small one. But at that time, they were grown up. They want to enter to be Christians. So they used the mikveh. What's the mikveh?
Traditional bath.
The traditional bath, actually, is the bath that we saw it in Qumran. Okay? So they used it, they changed it to be a baptismal font, to be baptized. And if you look here, you will see one of those mikvaot that it become a baptismal font for the early Christian people that they joined Christian. So this church, built at the beginning of the 20th century, 1924, the church that we had our mass, okay, it was actually 1960s. Pope Paul VI, he came, and he opened this church. Good. So, if you want to take your photos, we will meet upstairs to the left. Okay? And what we will do next, we will go down in front of the church. I will show you where those 3 letters Ave Maria. And after that, we will go down to the market. We will give you 20 minutes or so. Look like, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Not far in the church.
Yeah.
This is not too good.
That's a very good one.
Mary and Joseph didn't live very far apart.
It's the poles there.
Mary and Joseph didn't.
That I mentioned, they are all over the church, and even you could see it over here. How you the A, Okay. What about the V? You will find two triangles. In between them, you will see the letter V. And if you find those two triangles, they are representing the letter M. So Ave Maria. Okay. So they did it in purpose to honor Our Lady. Okay. And somebody asked me about the crosses, Jerusalem crosses, and the two hands. One of them is Jesus' hand, and the other one is Francis de Assisi. You know the Franciscan? Because Francis de Assisi, he had the mark of the name. Stigmata. Yeah. You have the two hands, so he had the vision of those two hands. One of them is his hand, and the other one is Jesus' hand. The one that it's not with clothes, this is Jesus' hand, and the other one is Francis de Assisi's hand. Okay. Please have a few minutes here if you want to.
Efter så får jeg lidt tid til bare at få rundt og se på den.
Senora, I'm sure it is. It's the other Senora.
This is not Monday.
We got our harp here.
And it's a new religion, also started at the beginning of the 20th century, 1909, came out of Islam, and now it's separated, and it's a religion. 6.5 billion people are following the Bahai's religion. Okay, and the two main holy cities for them is Akko and Haifa. So we will go to the gardens of the Baha'is, and then we will talk about the Baha'is. So this is where we are going. We are going to Haifa. We will go to the Baha'is garden, and it will take us around from here to Haifa around 45 minutes. We will visit the Baha'is garden, let you take some pictures, beautiful, for like 20 minutes, half an hour, and then we will go to a church, that church called Stella Mars. What is a stella? Star. Stella Mars is the star of the sea. And we will be in the church of Stella Mars. It's a beautiful church owned by the Carmelite orders. At a Bahai center, he said, anywhere in the world you go, Bahai center, you would be welcome. So that Christians, not only the disciples, many people around with their origin, Jews, Arabs, Romans, Greek, other people. They actually, some of them, they accepted Jesus and they become followers of Jesus, and they get married, they lived around here, they had children, and their children, they become Christians, and so on, until they legalize Christianity. So all the Christian community, they pop on the surface, they start building churches, and they say that we are Christians. And at the same time, there were Jewish people, but many of the Christians with the origin of Jewish, then they were living here. Until the 7th century AD, the Islam came to the Holy Land here. From Mecca and Medina, they came all the way to Holy Land here, and they took over the land. Some of the rulers, they were tolerant, others they weren't. And they actually spread the Arabic language. So all the people in this area and in 22 countries all around, they start speaking the Arabic language. What is their origin? Yeah, possible that they are Greek, Romans, Jews, Gentiles, all of it. It's like everybody is there. So, in the 7th century, the Arabic language had become for everybody. This is the official language. And after a few generations, the people that they remember their languages forget it, and it become Arabs with their beliefs. Some of them converted. Yeah, it's a beautiful scenario. To your right. Beautiful. Now, this is oil refinery. Many people converted according to the ruler, and they're tolerant. Others, they didn't until nowadays. So if you ask Christian community, what is your origin? Most probably they were the early followers of Jesus. They didn't convert. They were the first who accepted Jesus. Either they were Jewish or Gentile, whatever they had. They accepted Jesus and they continue living here as Christians. Why they didn't convert from Islam to Christians? Because according to the Islamic law, if you are an Islam, let's say if you are a Muslim and you are converted to other religion, you might be killed. But if you are in origin, you are a Christian, they will not come to you and say why you converted, because you are originally Christians. So nowadays there is 16 million Jew in the world. But if you started from the time of Jesus, how many millions of Jewish? Up till today, they might be like 160 million. Many of them, they believed in Jesus. Many of them, they converted to be Muslims. Many of them, they left. They are seculars. So if you want to trace the people here, most probably they were, at the time of Jesus, they were living here all around, and they are the descendants of the early believer of Jesus Christ. Okay? So when somebody told you that all the Arabs, they are Muslims, say no. Never. Majority they are Muslims, because in the 7th century the Arabic language and Islam was spread, but there is the
For the water.
Unbelievable.
It is really.
Yeah.
See right down there's the dome.
If you want to go down to the first level, I will show you how to get down.
Take it all in.
You can see Lebanon from here.
Try and take a few.
No, I guess
Get down here.
Oh, this is?
I mean, everything.
I keep all this beauty.
It's like when you go to the Christian Science, it's where it's for.
didn't like to have it see. But now you will notice that there is houses that it's not finished yet. So you will see that the first
Well, it's the beginning of the day, though. Oh my heavens, this is gorgeous. Look at these.
church is one of the beautiful churches here in the Holy Land. Why? For many reasons, but let me just remind you what happened here. That Jesus, he came from Nazareth, and where is it called a Mahel, but on the same ridge you could see high buildings, and those buildings is Nazareth. If you didn't notice it on your way up, notice it on your way down, that you will see on that side, you will see high buildings, and those buildings is Nazareth. So Jesus, he walked from there all the way, and he went up to a high mountain, and this mountain is the highest mountain in the whole area over here. And Jesus, when he came here, he transfigured with Moses, with Elijah, and then God spoke here on this mountain. Beginning of the 4th century, when Constantine legalized building churches, and then his mother came and built 3 main churches in the Holy Land here. One of them is the Nativity. Many Christians, they start building churches. And they came here and they built a church. So it was big church, huge church. Then later on it was destroyed, rebuilt by the Crusaders. The Crusaders, that they came from Europe, they came here and they built this church. What happened after the Crusaders? The Crusaders, that they ruled over the Holy Land here for nearly 200 years. Okay, they were actually defeated by the Muslims, and they were kicked out of the Holy Land. They weren't anymore in the Holy Land. After them, they came rulers, Muslims rulers. Some of them, they were tolerant, that they accept the other religions, okay, like Judaism, like Jewish and Christians. Other, they didn't. So what happened here, it was actually destroyed by some of those rulers. True?
Scram. He's sitting there. We can talk about it.
Then, after that, at the 16th century, 16th, 17th century, there started to be a movement, another movement from Europe to come all the way to Holy Land here. They start coming, and at that time, there were the Turks that they were ruling over the Holy Land over here. So they gained the support of the government, and they start buying back all the property, the Christian properties, and the ruins of churches that been destroyed. So they came here and they bought this piece of land, and they found the ruins of the Byzantine church, the Crusaders church, and then they decided to rebuild church, and they built it at the beginning of the 20th century. 1930s, came here a famous architect called Barluzzi. If you want to see how he looked like, you could see the metal over there. Can you see it? You could see the face of Barluzzi. The face of Barluzzi. So he came here and he built 8 churches. One of them is the Transfiguration. What's unique about Barluzzi, that he is reflecting what happened within the building itself. Okay? So what he did, first he built the church consisted of 3 parts. Usually you will find with such buildings, you will find that the 2 parts here, they are much longer than the one in the center. But here, no. The center is much higher than, not much higher, but it's higher than the 2 others. Why? Because the one in the center and in the middle, this is represent Jesus, and the one to the right, it represent Elijah, the one to the left, it represent Moses. Okay. And when he built this church, he built it in an angle. So he put the